Some moments carve themselves into your soul, altering the very foundation of your world. For me, it was a quiet Thursday evening, the dishes still warm from dinner. Olivia stood at the sink, scrubbing plates with an ease that belied her words. She mentioned, almost offhandedly, as if noting we needed more milk, that she was considering a solo trip. I paused, my glass halfway to the table, caught by surprise. By yourself? I asked. Not exactly, she replied, her eyes fixed on the soapy water. Maddie and Isa will join me, but this is something I need for me. Her hands moved methodically over a frying pan, deliberately avoiding my gaze. Both Maddie and I were reeling from recent heartbreak, caught in that restless haze of late-night wine and self-help podcasts. I could feel the shape of this journey taking form. What's out there that you can't find here? I probed. She stopped, wiping her hands on a towel before facing me. Richard, I've never truly been on my own, she said. I went from my parents' house to our life together. I need space to figure out who I am. We'd been married 4 years, settled into a home we'd purchased just last year. I thought we were solid, dependable, maybe not electrifying, but rooted. It's not about chasing wild nights, she added, reading my expression. It's not that kind of adventure. I just need clarity. I nodded, absorbing her words. So you need distance before what? Before we start a family? Before you're too tied down to roam Europe with Maddie and her yoga mentor? That's unfair, she snapped. Which part? The trip itself or planning it without me? She let out a sharp breath. I knew you'd react this way. That's why I nearly booked the tickets before telling you. That's when it hit me. This wasn't a discussion. It was a formality, a notice before she forged ahead with her decision. She left the following weekend. I didn't try to stop her, but that night, I made a silent vow she wouldn't expect. I drove her to the airport that morning, not out of excitement, but because I refused to let her paint me as bitter. She looked more like she was headed to a trendy bistro than an international escapade. Linen blazer, oversized sunglasses, a polished suitcase. You okay? She asked as we pulled into the drop-off area. I'm fine, I said, shutting off the engine. Got your passport? She nodded but hesitated. You're awfully quiet, she observed. I met her gaze. You're off with 2 women who treat relationships like temporary rentals, and you're surprised I'm not talkative? Her brow creased. This is exactly why I need this, she said. You turn everything into something it's not. It's not always about cheating. Maybe not, I countered, but trips like this open doors better left closed. She rolled her eyes and stepped out. I followed to grab her bag. Her kiss brushed my cheek, more like a co-worker's goodbye than a wife's. I'll text when I land, she said. No need, I replied. Her smile faltered. What's that supposed to mean? It means go do what you've already decided. Just don't pretend it's for us. She didn't respond, simply turned and disappeared through the airport's glass doors. I drove off without looking back. That afternoon, I began untangling our shared finances. I didn't touch her money. I'm not that kind of man. But I rerouted my earnings to a new account, canceled the fall vacation we'd planned, and had the refund sent to my card. I updated the billing for every joint account, utilities, insurance, subscriptions. Small shifts, but they held weight. We weren't divorcing, not yet, but I was done acting like a husband whose wife still cherished him. She wanted space to rediscover herself? Fine. I'd stay here, paying close attention. By the 4th day, she posted her first photo. A wine glass on a cafe table captioned, strolling through Lisbon finding peace. Lisbon wasn't even on their original plan. Then came images from Seville, Milan, Nice. Clearly, the trio was wandering freely, drifting from city to city like carefree college students on a gap year. Every photo was carefully curated. Plates of exquisite cuisine, seaside sunsets, toes dusted with sand. Olivia appeared in flowing dresses, sunglasses perched on her nose, laughing with Maddie or gazing pensively at some artwork. But one image froze me. A group shot with 3 unfamiliar men, one with his arm around Olivia's waist. No tags, no context, just a caption. New souls, timeless vibes. I stared at it for a long time before saving it to a folder on my laptop. Call it prudence, call it instinct. I was done assuming the best. I didn't comment, didn't like her posts, didn't text. She messaged me once that week. Hey, hope things are okay at home. Just got to Barcelona. It's breathtaking. I left it unanswered. The next day, Maddie posted a video from a beach club. Olivia was dancing barefoot, drink in hand. That same man nearby, shirtless, murmuring something close to her ear. She didn't pull away. I watched it twice, saved it to the folder, and stayed silent. 3 weeks later, she walked back into the house like it was just another day, dropping her bags in the hallway with a radiant smile. God, it's good to be home, she said. You wouldn't believe the mess with Italian trains. I stood by the kitchen counter, arms crossed. She glanced around. Did you move things around? At some time, I replied. She stepped closer, leaning in for a kiss. I turned slightly, and her lips grazed my cheek instead. Her smile faded. Are you mad? No, I said. You're back. That's what matters, right? She gave a nervous laugh. Okay, I know how it looked, but it wasn't what you think. We just needed a break from routine. Look like you made some new friends, I said. She hesitated. You saw the photos. I saw enough. Richard, please, she said. Group photos happen. They don't mean anything. You weren't wearing your ring, I noted. She flinched. It was safer not to traveling like that. I didn't want to draw attention. I stayed silent. She crossed to her suitcase, pulling out small trinkets. I got you something, she said, holding up a keychain shaped like a Vespa. Remember how you always talk about visiting Rome? I set it on the counter, then opened a drawer and handed her an envelope. She opened it warily. Inside was a bank notice showing our accounts were now separate, documents indicating I'd begun buying out her share of the house, and contact information for a moving service I'd arranged. Her eyes widened, confused. You're kicking me out? You said you needed space, I replied calmly. I made sure you have plenty. Her voice cracked. Over one trip? I took a slow sip of coffee. Over one decision. One you made without me. She sank onto the couch, trembling. It wasn't meant to be permanent, Richard. I just needed a moment. A moment for what? To flirt your way through Southern Europe? To pretend you're young again? She looked at me, stung. You're blowing this out of proportion. You won't even listen to me. You had a month, I said. All I got were staged photos and vague captions. I didn't betray you, she insisted. Did you come close? She didn't answer. That's enough for me, I said. You think because you didn't cross some obvious line, nothing happened. But you left me behind the moment you boarded that plane. You wanted freedom, Olivia. You've got it. Freedom comes at a cost. Tears welled in her eyes. So that's it. You're done? I didn't answer right away. Instead, I walked to the closet, retrieved a duffel bag I'd packed for her, and set it gently by her feet. You can stay with Isa or Maddie. You've got options. She stood slowly, her voice barely audible. This is really happening. I met her gaze. I told you not to pretend it was for us. You made your choice. Now I've made mine. There was no shouting, no heated argument, just a heavy silence that descends when something truly ends. By the end of the week, she was gone. Maddie arrived in her small blue car to help with Olivia's things. She barely looked at me, offering a curt greeting before heading to the bedroom. Olivia moved through the house like a guest, packing photos, emptying drawers, leaving a half-used bottle of shampoo in the bathroom. As if she couldn't fully commit to departing. She paused in the doorway while I worked at the dining table. This doesn't feel real, she said. I didn't look up. It's real. I thought we could fix things when I got back. You should have thought of that before planning the trip without me. That weekend, my brother Aaron arrived with his truck. No questions asked, just quiet support. We loaded the last of her belongings and took them to storage. After he left, I wrapped myself in a blanket, sat on the balcony with a whiskey, and let the stillness settle. The house was quieter, but it wasn't empty. It was mine. I wasn't angry or broken, just free. She sought freedom across continents. I found mine without leaving home. 2 weeks later, my phone buzzed with an unknown number. I ignored it. Then came emails, can we talk? Just one conversation. I didn't respond. The next day, she was outside the house, arms crossed, trying to appear composed. I've been trying to reach you, she said. I know, I replied, locking the door behind me. You moved on so quickly, she said. I started moving the moment you said you needed space. She stood there, searching for an angle. I made a mistake, she admitted. I looked at her. No, you made a choice. You just didn't like the consequences. I thought we were stronger than this. No, Olivia, I was strong. You were uncertain. That hit her hard. She recoiled. You don't mean that. I mean every word. She reached into her bag and pulled out a small box. My wedding ring, she said. I kept it with me the whole time. I didn't take it off. I didn't touch the box. That ring traveled further than our marriage ever did. She stood there, speechless. I walked past her to my car. Is this really the end? She asked, her voice edged with panic. I glanced back. You wanted freedom. You've got it. I got in, started the engine, and drove away without looking back. 5 months have passed. The house is sold, our assets split cleanly, no messy legal battles, just quiet goodbyes. I moved into a smaller place near work. 1 bedroom, uncluttered mine. I've started running again, signed up for a photography class on Thursdays. It's strange how the small joys return when you stop pouring yourself into someone who wouldn't reciprocate. Friends still ask, are you sure you don't want to try fixing things? She's in therapy now. She might be different. Maybe, but I don't need to find out. That's the beauty of truly letting go. I heard she's dating again. Brief flings, nothing that sticks. She sent one last message. A photo of the Vespa keychain in her palm, no words. I deleted it. She doesn't know I kept mine, not as a keepsake of her, but as a reminder that real love isn't about grand gestures or second chances. It's about who stays when it's hard, who resists when freedom seems tempting. She left to find herself. I stayed and found me. I'm dating again, carefully, intentionally. I don't chase sparks anymore. I seek the steady, the quiet, the ones who stay when no one's watching.